Alright guys, HyDra back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. The Esports World Cup officially begin today. This will be an incredibly early video, I imagine, based on the time zones, but what else can you do? Because in a few hours' time, everything is kicking off and getting underway. Scump is predicting who's going to get out of OpTic Gaming's group. It is OpTic Gaming this tournament, not OpTic Texas. Plenty of other storylines to dive into as well on the day, which teams will be eliminated from the tournament this afternoon and evening. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. So many things to dive into today. I just wanted to share some more things as well. Like, really what this whole setup reminds me of, and I know that people were starting to mention it yesterday, is some sort of like Hollywood studios type vibe, when you've just got all these food courts, the restaurants, all the things to do. I think the more footage you see, the more that it's kind of like that. And yesterday we were having food, and outside we saw what I thought looked like a drone show for FIFA. So we were like, okay, we better go outside and have a look at what's going on here. And then I was like, well, if they're going to come up with this for the FIFA stuff, as we can see at the start here, then surely they're going to do some stuff for COD as well. And I mean, there was even more to it than just this, but they had this like drone show going on outside for Call of Duty. They have Ghosty, then this one was actually pretty fire when the drones reorganized themselves, and then it came up with this. There was even more to it than just this, to be fair. But it's just like, wow, they have gone all out for this event. This is another look at the main stage as well for today. They were doing all the preparation, of course, for yesterday. And yeah, as Frosty points out right here, this is the image of what's going to be happening. I think it's game one of the day. OpTic Gaming versus Omit Brooklyn, to see who advances to the winner decider game, effectively, of that Group A that OpTic Gaming are in. It's, you know, it's OpTic Gaming, right? It's the first time that OpTic Gaming have competed at an event in a very long time. Same story with Cloud9 as well. It's been, okay, it's been OpTic, but it's been OpTic Texas, OpTic Chicago, whatever, for the last several years. This is officially OpTic Gaming once again. Behind the main stage, by the way, is where, okay, obviously the players have the walkout bit and all that, and then further behind it, I'm pretty sure on that side of the building, is where they've done the media day stuff. And usually for media day, there's like one setup, right? They've got like one area with the cameras that they get the players through. There's like this whole corridor full of different media places left and right, so they can do all sorts of different content. And, well, that's basically what they were doing yesterday. Before we get into that, quickly from Slasher, he does put the old hourglass emoji out here. So whether he's saying, oh, just waiting for the start of the season, or whether he's saying, oh, well, maybe I've got something sorted for next season, that's a bit of a question. I do think Slasher will be back in the league. Where, I don't know, and I think it will probably depend to some degree on what happens here at the World Cup. There's so many interesting storylines for this event in many ways, because like, how much does it matter in the grand scheme of things, right? It's not like the players have been grinding super hard for this tournament compared to how they were for the World Championship. It's not, you know, a ring, as it were, but it's still, I think, a massive tournament, right? And what it's going to count as, it's going to depend on various things. Obviously, if OpTic don't win, then people are going to say, oh, well, no home crowd cheese, therefore, etc., etc. Of course, a lot of, like, FaZe fans, and maybe the FaZe players themselves, will be kind of tempted to try and make this be more of a big deal, especially if they do bounce back from a poor World Championship. So, you know, there's a big debate, really, on it. But this, I believe, is in the player lounge. So, you've got the venue, the Amazon Arena. Across from that is where we are in, like, the game hall. And then just around the corner is, well, it's like a 5-minute or so walk, really, is the player lounge, which I went and had a look around yesterday. It's basically like a theatre. They've got a big restaurant in there. They've got like a juice bar. They've got some table football, this type of stuff that the guys can play. And it's just kind of funny because on the wall it will say, now we watch, now we whatever, and then now we eat, which is, of course, where TJ&B decided to set up outside of. So I thought that was pretty funny. Those guys getting ready. And so as I say, right, it's not just like they had one content area to do stuff from. They could do all sorts of different stuff. And I mean, like, these Ravens boys, they could be eliminated today. I don't think they will be, but it's possible. And some teams are eliminated from the tournament today on Thursday, and literally, like, they've flown here for 20 hours plus 8 hours worth of jet lag or whatever, and then they might be eliminated Thursday evening. But we'll talk about that over the coming minutes, how that actually looks. This is Cloud9, by the way, because the Subliners are effectively going to be no more, we believe, after this tournament. I mean, next year it's going to be New York Cloud9 or Cloud9 New York, isn't it? Something like that. And this is kind of what they came up with after the media day stuff stuff that they did. This is some of the more behind the scenes action of the Subliners, kind of, well, enjoying their time, as it were. Skyz manages to fall over a little bit, so they might have to redo this one. But, yeah, pretty entertaining stuff. They, of course, play today, as does every team, and we'll see that here, as I say, over the coming minutes. Speaking of Cloud9, this is their first event as Cloud9 since Infinite Warfare champs. They were around for a couple of years in that period, in the Jetpack era, really. They called it a day at the end of Infinite Warfare when they had this Aches, Priestahh, Assault, and Exotic team. I think they came top 6, maybe. They were maybe better than people thought. This is kind of when Priestahh was coming on the scene as well, started to become notable. 2018, 2019, of course, 2020 even, very good years for Priestahh, and you know, now he's on that, well, he was on the Cloud9 team that were the Subliners, but now he's of course gone. He went to Boston, now he's nowhere to be found. Hopefully he finds himself back in the league at some point soon as well. These just all the kind of old school OG names that played for this Cloud9 brand over time, and it's going to be HyDra, Skyz, Kiz, and Sib joining the list this weekend. This, by the way, is the OpTic and the Thieves stuff, right? Because they are representing 100 Thieves, and representing not Los Angeles Thieves, it's 100 Thieves. This is what the jersey looks like. There's also this, of course, which is the OpTic one, the OpTic Gaming stuff. So, yeah, it goes pretty hard, I'm not going to lie, and it's cool to see it again. And as OpTic say, you know, day zero. So this was their media stuff that they had going on, and just some other shots on the weekend, really. Okay, yeah, they got one of the golf carts, or like the golf buggies, whatever, to cart people around, because this is one of the little food places that exist around the kind of venue space. It's also crazy the amount that they've expanded on it in the last year. Like we were talking about it last night. For Gamers 8, which was kind of the pre-Esports World Cup thing that they ran, I think, for the last couple of years, that was done in what they're calling here the Gaming District. But they've built the entire Esports District with all the stadiums that we've just shown you guys in the last 12 months, and possibly in the last like 3 to 4 months. Like the rate of expansion of this place has been like absurd. So this is another angle of the OpTic Gaming. Boys, okay, the quality isn't the best. I'm pretty cool to see that Kenny's going to be vlogging it as well. So I think the boys are staying at it, well, they're staying at a different hotel to where we are. I'm pretty sure at their hotel, they have like all their scrim setups are there. So every team, I think maybe this is what this is, has a suite at the hotel, basically. So usually you'll find that you go to the venue and that's where like the setups are, but the setups won't be the best. In this case, every team has their own suite at the player hotel where they can scrim and practice, and then just head to the venue for their matches. I think that'll probably be the plan. But so I wonder what the pros will do. Let's say today, if you're OpTic, you play first, and then you may play again 5th game of the day, or you may not. And well, if you don't, then great. And if you do, then you know, do they stay at the venue and like warm up there, or do they go back to the hotel? It's just yeah, it's like next level in terms of the preparation for this. And here's, well, Shotzzy, I'm guessing at the player hotel, because he's not going to be at the venue at 4:30 a.m. and he's absolutely grinding. So this is to some degree the jet lag effect, I guess, on some level. But the issue is for Shotzzy, not really the issue, because they play at 3 p.m. I think local time, so it's okay. But look, he's up at 4:30 grinding. I'm sure the other boys were maybe as well to some degree. And whether the OpTic boys will be able to get over the line to kind of celebrate OpTic Day, which of course was yesterday. They released the Process episode, of course, which is fantastic as well alongside this stuff. So thought that was well, great timing obviously to have the Process drop as good as it was, the OpTic Day happen, and then of course they're all in action today. So just some of the other images as well. Just real quick, I guess I'll look up here from Toronto themselves, because they do this tweet. It's the biggest COD event in the world. Why wouldn't you want to watch it on the big screen? And they're kind of selling some tickets locally here, I think, to go and watch it in person, which is pretty cool stuff. Now, it's just because this caused some debate, right? Because, of course, Champs is Champs. Champs is a worldwide event, but it's from the CDL, where all the teams are based out of North America, so maybe there's a debate on that. And on some level, I mean, on some level, you could argue this is the biggest COD event because it's got like the most teams the most over the world. Is it the biggest COD event in terms of importance? No. Maybe that will be the case over the coming years. Probably not, but who knows? But I just don't think it's worth underestimating the amount of time and effort and preparation and just everything that's gone into making this event spectacular. And hopefully today lives up to the billing as well in terms of, you know, technical delays and stuff like this. Hopefully it's kept to a minimum because there are so many games today, we don't need any further delays. This, just before we talk about Scump Predictions, is our watch party setup for the weekend. So we had a few things to work through. Ben did a killer job as always, getting it all ready. And this is kind of where we are at the FaZe booth at the back of the game hall, just across from the venue. So the plan will be today, while it will still be very early in North America to be fair, but early, a couple of hours before the matches, getting the stream on, getting things prepared, and doing a pre-show basically. And then of course there's about 9 hours of matches today scheduled, and well, who knows how long that's actually going to last, because these are the group stages, and well, we can have a look at them in more detail here in just a couple of seconds, because this is how it looks, right? 16 teams enter, 8 teams can move on only from the bracket into, well, basically from groups into the actual bracket itself. This is Group A, for example, so OpTic, Omit, Vegas, and Ravens. That's the Group A. We'll see Scump's predictions of this in a second. Just a quick look through the other groups if you guys aren't familiar with them. So Cloud9 is in the group with Surge, G2, which is Minnesota Rocker, and Gentle Mates, which is effectively the Bansons, like those boys, European Team War Clutch Rain team that's now representing Gentle Mates this tournament. Ultra are playing the Stallions round 1. They're in an interesting group with Heretics and Breach. So, you know, they're still going as Breach, even though whatever the hell's going on right now there behind the scenes. Heretics are Miami Heretics, of course. 100T play Law round 1, and FaZe play Falcon. So Group D should be maybe the clearest cut in terms of the two best teams, 100T and FaZe. But I still think Law are pretty good there, and Falcons, who knows how good they're going to be as well. They obviously won their qualifier in region to get to this event, and they won a recent kind of, well, cup online in the European side. But obviously FaZe is going to be, I would imagine, an entirely different challenge. But I wanted to share what Scump had to say, especially predicting the OpTic group and also the overall situation.
Falcons could easily win. They are winning everything. I don't know, bro. The level of competition is so different. It's so different. I mean, dude, these guys, I don't know. I mean, obviously, any given Sunday, Falcons with the home crowd cheese? No. I think you guys, dude, the amount of spectators that are going to be there are not, like, going to be like champs. You know, it is not going to be like champs. Bring out the fucking drums, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody get those fucking drums for the Falcons. But so we play Omit Brooklyn first, which is the amateur team in our pool. Vegas, Legion, and Carolina play at the exact same time. Those are the two matches kicking off the stream tomorrow. This is a bloodbath right here. Realistically, these matches, the first matches aren't make or break, obviously. Because it looks like it's win 2 before you lose 2. You play these. Losers drop here. If you lose this, you're out of the fucking tournament. Win this, then you'll play the loser of this match right here. So you got to win 2 before you lose 2. I'm pretty confident we're going to walk through this pool. Honestly, I'm pretty confident. I mean, both teams could give us a match, obviously. It's the end of the year. Teams have had a lot of time on the game, but we should walk through. We should be fine through this pool. I think us and Vegas are going to make it out of this pool.
So this is being streamed on Twitch on the official EWC channels. I think it's like EWC_white or something like that. The channels they're going to be streaming on for the Alpha and the Bravo stream, because there's 2 streams, of course. But, well, it's also going to be, I think Scump's going to be watch partying it. I think Zuma might be watch partying it today as well. Of course, we're going to be live at the flank setup with Ben, and it's going to be on at the Breaking Point YouTube as well, because you can watch on any platform. So that's the plan over there, and we're just probably going to be flicking between the streams, stream A, stream B, to see, you know, what the better game is, what's actually worth watching. And the games are never running completely simultaneously anyway, right? Like, you'll always tend to find that one of the maps will start slightly later than the other one. So one game finishes, you can flick over to the other one and watch the final couple of seconds, in an ideal world anyway. So this is how it goes. We have the first rounds of Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, all happening in order over these hours. Now, usually you'll find you get maybe 4 games during a match day, or at least 4 sets of games. We have 4, and then we run the 2 elimination games. So for both groups, Group A, Group B, Group D, and Group C, I don't know why it's A, D, B, C, whatever, probably because this is maybe like the Falcons group or whatever, where the Falcons game may potentially be, so they're going to put that on the A stream. They're playing their elimination game right then. So there are going to be 4 teams by the end of today that are out of the tournament. The loser of Group A, B, C, and D are all going to be gone already. Will there be any surprises there? Who knows? As Scump says, you'd predict Top to get out of this group, and, you know, obviously the decider game is going to happen on the Friday, so it's difficult to say who's going to get out yet, but of course we can predict you might well get eliminated from the tournament already, which is probably going to be a fair few amateur teams, but could there potentially be a big surprise in there? So very much interested to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. It is going to be a very long day, but all the relevant time zones are on screen. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.